Oblast with Don and Kevin is a show where we share opinions and interviews about topics that interest us. We generalize a lot, and we do realize that some of the topics we touch on, there are people on the fringes that are not part of the group we are generalizing. In order to spare the listeners having to hear us constantly caveat our conversations to recognize that there are other groups and opinions out there, this is our blanket statement stating just that. We know. Also, we are not on any side. We are not left, right, good, evil, up or down. The purpose of the show is to both provide entertainment and also to expose you to new ideas and opinions to cause you to think, research, and form your own opinions that you can share with others. We very much thank you for listening. June 14th, 2021. You're listening to Oblast with Don and Kevin. I'm Kevin.
And I am Don.
Here we are again. Okay.
Thought it was safe.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, listening. Tuning. You have to tune the dial to listen to us. You know, when we first started the show, you could actually tune us. We were on Shoutcast, and that had like a thing where you could tune to the one you wanted to listen to. Not anymore, kids.
No.
That shit's over. I don't know why my levels are so screwed up today. Let me see if I can push these up even more. That's just me making myself louder.
Push it up.
I don't know if I want to keep making myself louder. Hear myself talk. It's weird. So how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
Anything new and exciting happened this week for you?
I mean, I got to go eat lunch with my daughter and her boyfriend.
Oh, yeah? How was that?
Yeah, it was awkward.
Did you meet him before?
Yeah, kind of. Like, I've never...
Oops, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Nope, that's all right. Hey, that's all right. No, I've seen him because, like, I've picked her up from his house, and he'll walk her out, and he'll be like, hello, and I'll be like, hey, what's up? And, so I've seen him, but I've never, like, gone anywhere with him or sat down with him. And I'm not that dad. I'm not that kind of, listen here, buddy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I threaten people and then they go, okay. So anyways, so it's like, it was just awkward because it was like, I'm like, oh, you play guitar? And he's like, yeah. I go, what kind of guitar do you have? Ibanez. Okay.
Is it bad or something?
No, it's not bad. It's just it's just one word answers.
Oh yeah. Well, you're the dad of the girl that he's trying to make out with. You're never gonna get anywhere with that. Forget it.
Yeah. Just, so I'm like, whatever. I go, there's no point in threatening this kid.
You just gotta, he's just worried you're gonna catch him doing something and you're gonna kill him. I mean, isn't that what you worry about when you're dating like some dude's daughter? You just worried like when you were a kid, you're just like that man might kill me one day if he catches me with his daughter. So, I mean, that's all I ever thought about. Like, just, if I don't know what are you going to be mad at me right now? Are you mad? Because I'm sorry. I like your daughter, but,
right.
Yeah,
it's just,
I know dad shit. Hey, you know what? As long as she's happy, that's what's important, dude.
That's what I figure. I'm like, whatever. The kid's happy.
Yeah.
She does whatever.
You'll be there to wipe up the tears when.
Yeah, I'll be there when
that shit goes bad.
Whenever somebody does something stupid.
And the breakup and
boys are dumb.
Yeah, all that.
I'll never find anyone.
I only love Josh. That kind of thing. Oh,
right.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Ugh. So other than that, nothing.
That's funny.
Nothing too monumental.
Yeah. Oh yeah, last week I don't think did I mention like my cable got cut? Well, last week, no, I didn't. Right after recording, they like the next day, which is Tuesday.
Right.
I'm getting a shed put in my backyard, right? So these guys had one of them little bobcat things,
right?
And they're gonna dig in because like I'm putting in a cement foundation for it or whatever. Not a foundation, you know what I mean? A pad,
a cement pad.
Yeah,
of course.
And they got to dig down like 6 inches or whatever it is in order to put some rock in there in order to make it do it. And I said, all right, cable line goes right through there, right? Because I called Wide Open West, Wow Way Cable, whatever the fuck you want to call them these days, Wow Cable, and I had them come out and I had them move the cable. So the guy ran the new cable, put it where I told him to put it. Good dude, right? Got it all done. But what happens is they don't bury it, right? Another group comes that buries the cable.
Yeah, right.
So dude comes and they don't ring your door or nothing to bury people, right? They just come out and bury it. And dude came out and ignored everything where that guy had put the cable and ran it right through the area where they were going to dig out the shed, you know? Yeah. So I'm like, that sucks because these guys are supposed to work on it and anytime now. And it's going to kill my internet, Right. So I call up WoW again and I'm like, yep, you guys, screwed it up. You got to come back out. I'm not mad at them. I mean, I'm mad, but I'm not going to be mad at the Indian woman I'm talking to. You know what I mean? She's in Bangalore somewhere. She has no fucking idea. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to scream at her.
Yeah, she wasn't on the truck.
Right. Right. It's just, I just told her what happened and she says, all right, I'll, she was cool. She goes, I'll put in like an emergency order for you or whatever it is, so they'll come out this week. And I'm like, okay, cool. So then some dude comes out, with the truck and he's not a bad dude or anything, but I told him what's going on and he's like, all right, well, I'll take some pictures and I'll let them know that they've got to move this cable. I'm not going to run another one. They're going to have to come out here and move it. And I'm like, all right, man, these guys are going to start working on this week, but okay, It's your call, So, the week goes by. Of course, the people that bury it don't show up, right? And so my construction guy is just like, about to start working. I'm like, well, the cable's under there. I said, you can go ahead and cut it. I said, he's like, are you going to lose internet? And I'm like, yep, but I've been trying to get this shed put in for like 3 years. I'm not going to stop it now because my cable company's dumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So just do what you got to do and I'll call the cable company. So, like literally 5 minutes later, it's cut. You know what I mean? Like they cut it. And so I called up the cable company. I told them, what happened. And they're like, okay, well, as soon as we can get there is going to be Thursday. So it's Friday. So it's Tuesday. And they're going to come out on Friday. And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, that's ridiculous. Because these fucking cable guys, you know what I mean? They're everywhere. They're driving around all over the place. Right. My fucking service is cut, and you can't, you know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous. They're not that fucking busy. Like that, hold off on, I don't know, whatever you're doing and go help the guy that's paying, to fix his internet. But again, I ain't going to get mad at these people on the phone because, again, they're in India.
It's not Judy's fault.
Right. I'm not talking to these, the people that are actually doing any of the work. So I sat there and kind of stewed on it for a little bit. And I'm like, I bet I could order internet from AT&T and it'll get installed faster than the company that I pay for, WoW Cable, to actually fix what I'm paying for. Right. So I call up AT&T. Well, I actually did it online. I didn't even call and talk to anybody. I ordered it online, and they were like, they'll be there Thursday to put it in. And I'm like, sweet. All right, let's see who wins this race, right? AT&T came out, put it in, put it right where I wanted them to put it, had internet Thursday morning. I'm like, this is great. Like, but the only problem is that right now, AT&T in my area isn't fiber yet. It is up the street, but it's not yet. So the speed is slower. You could still Netflix and do everything, but I am a bit of a power user with some of my distributed storage stuff that I do. So I can't just survive on that, but I could work and do all the stuff I got to do with it. Right. So I was fine with it. It's just that I can't switch off of my cable just yet, but I probably will, just because I just feel like those people are morons. And so right now I just have this cable, and then the guy came to fix it. Right. So that guy comes on Friday. He's a nice guy. He's one of those guys, though, that's like talking to me about things he, heard on the internet that I already know. I've heard. You know what I mean? Right. You've already heard, you know it already. He's not getting all the facts right, but you're just like, yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know about that. That kind of thing. And he's like, well, I'm just patching it. He's like, I'm just gonna take this cut and I'm gonna reconnect it, and then they're gonna come out and they're going to have to run another wire and bury it. Okay. All right. So right now I got this loose wire, in my yard laying on the grass. And today my lawn guys come out and I'm thinking to myself, I wasn't even going to go out. I wasn't going to go outside. and wave down my lawnmower guys and be like, "Hey, look out for the cable." You know what I mean? Like I was just thinking to myself, like, I got backup now. I got another thing. So if they fucking cut it, they cut it. But I ain't gonna run out there. So anyway, they didn't cut it. But when I went outside, the lawn guys had tied it up above the ground. So there's like this wire like in the middle of the yard, just like all hung up in the air. And I'm just like, yeah, this whole thing's just absolute fucking bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? Just fucking have the guy come out, run the fucking wire, and then have the guy also bury it. What is so hard about that? It's not like he's got a shovel and shit. They got this like razor thing, right? That they stick in the ground, and then they kind of move it open, and they lay the cable in there, and then they kind of do it in sections and just kind of move it along. Why can't the guys with the cable truck do that shit? You know what I mean? Like, it's absolutely insane. So anyway, whatever. I don't know all the rules. You got to have two teams, and those guys are apparently super busy. The guys that are like burying the cable, so they can't come now in fucking 2 weeks. So okay, whatever. Cable companies.
I think it's just funny the fact that you like ordered different cable, and they came out and like installed it and stuff. Like, all right, here you go, you're all set. And you're just like, thank you.
Yeah. Well, see, I happen to have a really good router that will fail over. So if one service, like if WoW cable like goes kaput, it automatically just flips to the other one. Mm-hmm. I mean, I had to, finagle it to make it do all that, but it has that feature, and so it's okay. I mean, so I don't mind having the two. I don't really want to pay for two, but I'm at this point right now where I'm just hot, So I'm just going to pay for it right now because I'm mad about it.
Right.
And then eventually I'll come to my senses and be like, why am I paying for two of these things? I'm going to get rid of one of them. But at the moment I'm just pissed off. So anyway, that was my internet thing. And basically those guys just dug the hole and put the rocks down. And so far nothing. I guess the next thing is probably the cement truck is going to come and cement it up and then wait a week or whatever it is. And then I'll start working on the shed. I mean, I got like I'm getting like a metal shed with like, siding and like a tile roof and all that kind of thing, like the kind of shed that like I should be dead and it should still be standing there looking brand new kind of thing, like of old age.
The kind of shed that Adam would be like, can I live there?
Right. Be a little bit hot, but yeah, I mean, because my other one just got flooded all the time, folks that don't know, and it just was constantly underwater due to the weirdness of my backyard, and so I had it torn down, and then the city wouldn't let me put anything back where it was because they wanted, with the permits and the way North Royalton is kind of like a big homeowners association. It just seems like that. I'm not in one. It just seems like the whole city is because of the rules.
Right.
They're like, no, you got to put the shed behind your house. And it's like, I mean, if you've seen behind my house, there's a giant ass deck, right? On like, half the yard is a deck. And then like the other half, like there's like a little tree area and then there's like the ground. And the problem is that the rear of my yard is a 20-foot drainage easement.
I was going to say, you also have the Nile River going through there.
Right. So I can't put it there in the back of my yard like you would with a normal shed. I can't put it to the side because they're like, it's got to be 10 feet from the neighbor's property and it's got to be 20 feet from the house. And I'm like, well, that's ridiculous. I'm like, that's like I got to put the shed right in the middle of my fucking yard. And luckily the building manager, the inspector, right, for the city.
Yeah.
I'd actually talked to the director and the director told him to work with me, but he actually was one of the guys that worked on my deck. Like he had like done my deck and then I don't know, he just took this job as a city building inspector or something. So he was aware of the problems with my property. He was cool about it. Like he said he'd work with me and he said that, I could keep the shed closer to the house, but they have to put in like a fire resistant kind of wood type of thing so that, I don't know if it burns down slower on the side of the house or something. It doesn't really matter to me because I'm not going to be keeping like napalm and fuel and shit in my garage and everything. Plus, it's all metal. I'm making it's a metal shed. I mean, I don't know what you're going to do with that. You'd have to be a really fucking hot fire.
A lot of gasoline on it.
Like 9/11. Fucking plane would have to hit it and burn the steel or something. Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of what that's kind of going on and everything, and all that, and I'm in cornhole with Larry on Sundays. For those that don't know what cornhole is, I think you might call it tossway or something in other states, but in Ohio we call it cornhole, which sounds terrible because of Beavis and Butthead. But it's like this thing where it's just like there's a board with a hole in it, and then you stick your dick in the
yeah, right. And you got to get on top of it.
Right. And you gotta hump the no.
You got to smack it on the side.
You're just throwing a beanbag right onto a board with a hole in it, and it's like people just do it when they're drinking, right? It's I'm
pretty sure.
Go ahead.
I'm pretty sure people know what cornhole is.
I know it's like they don't use that, and when we got people like Alexa and stuff, and he doesn't know. People in other countries and stuff have no.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Cornhole is, but even in the country, people don't know. We get lots
go ahead.
People always ask. You just throw the beam. You get like 4 bean bags, and you try to throw them onto the board into the hole, and it's like 25 feet away or something like that. And if it lands on the board but doesn't go in the hole, you get like a point. And then if it falls in the hole, you get 3 points, and it's just a real, like
it's a drinking game.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something people do here. Like you get these boards, you can get them like custom made if you want with like your sports team or whatever you want on there. People do that shit, and you just kind of have backyard barbecues and stuff. And people are like, let's play cornhole, and hey, I don't know, ring toss or something. I don't know what else people do.
Right. Yeah, people are into it.
Yeah, people are into it around here. It's weird. And so Larry decided to sign up for one at Whitey's, and he's like, "You want to be on the team?" And I'm like, "Sure." And I'm thinking, my team, I think he just means me and him because, it's not like there's a big rotation of people with cornhole. And, but we have Susie as a sub. Yeah. And then, and then trivia again on Thursdays, but that's just named that tune. It's not even trivia. It's just named that tune. Dude comes to your table and plays a song, and, you just have to say artist and title.
Yeah.
And if you don't know one of the two, you can get half the points. And then it goes to the next table, and if they get, what you missed, either all of it or half of it, then they can steal those points.
Mm.
So it's okay.
I'd be good at that.
It's just that you think so, but it's like one night we did like 3 rounds of country music. It was it was rough. Somehow Joe knew 2 of the songs. Which I started looking at him like, mm-hmm. Although one of them was not one. We all got one, which was The Gambler by Kenny Rogers. I mean, everybody knew that fucking song. But other ones. And I don't know. I mean, the problem with me is I'm good at that kind of stuff, but whenever I have like even half a beer or anything, my brain just switches off. It's like not thinking, no longer capable of answering questions. So I just leave it to the rest of the table really to figure it out. Most of the time I'm like, I know this is a heart song. It's heart. But what is it? And then it's like, what do we just have? Like, all I want to do is make love to you or something like that.
Yeah.
But while it's beginning and it starts, you're just like, what the, it's not alone. Like, what is this song?
Right.
You just can't think of it. Yeah. I don't know. So that's just been kind of going on. Anyway.
Yeah.
So this week, kind of wanted to talk about food. Like, because I was looking at one of those things online about like, there's always these, like, we must have hit that age somewhere around like late 40s where like our friends start sharing like, remember when you were a kid and there was this and that, and and kids today don't know what this is and blah blah blah. And I'm sorry, kids. I don't mean old people to throw that kind of bullshit at you all the time because it's not my fault. I don't know who does it, but it goes on all the time. But I saw this this one where it was like, I think it was like today or something, and it was like a Hostess Ding Dong, but it was wrapped in foil. Like, remember when Ding Dongs came out in foil?
Yeah, ho-hos used to be wrapped up in foil.
Right. And that got me to
individually.
thinking, like, how much different it is since we were young, because like I grew, see, for me personally, I mean, we talk about this every so often, but I grew up poor. So like I didn't get treats and shit in my lunch very often.
Yeah.
There was no Hostess in my
No.
lunch. And most of the
Ever.
time, to be honest, most of the time we got school lunch for free, because I was on the dole or whatever you want to call it, where I
Right.
get the free lunch. Or the half price lunch or whatever. It just depended on the year. But and then there would be like ice cream. You could pay for an ice cream, but I never paid for the ice cream. Scooter Crunch,
Oh
right?
yeah, that's where you get them.
And right, but my family that cost 30 cents. I remember when I was in elementary school, it cost 30 cents for an ice cream bar, like a Scooter Crunch or an ice cream sandwich, or I think there was like an orange push up. I think you get one of those three. Maybe you could get that ice cream cup with the wooden plank for the spoon.
You get like your choice of like a chocolate Scooter Crunch or strawberry.
Right.
And like Eskimo pie.
Yeah. Eskimo pie, yeah.
Or like a push up or like that little cup thing. There was like nothing. It wasn't, or an ice cream sandwich. There's another one.
Right.
Yeah. That's pretty much.
That's what that was kind of it, right? And then kids would have Hostess snacks, right? Or maybe a Little Debbie or something. I didn't even know if Little Debbie was around when I was young, but most of the time kids would get like a Hostess snack in their lunch, or a kid would have chips or some shit. Some kid would have the chips and the snack. You know what I mean? And I'd be like looking at him with dirty looks, like I'm eating some sandwich that's totally smushed. And I'm just like, fuck you and your rich ass. No, but you know what I'm saying. And then, this is why I got it. We talked about this like a couple episodes ago. So this is why I got a job at 50. So I could buy shit in the lunch line at school, get an ice cream and a fucking something good to eat. But so I was thinking about that and I was like, yeah, it's weird because like, I can't speak too much to the 70s. I mean, there were some crazy cereals. There's always crazy cereals. Cereal throughout time, there's always been some crazy ass cereals. It's always been a thing. I can't speak too much else to like the treats of the 70s because I don't really remember them too well. But the 80s were like, there was this sort of like, obviously there's always junk food, right? But there was this thing in the 80s where everybody was worried about nutrition, right? For food groups, and you'd see these cereals like Total Cereal. It'll be like full of vitamins and shit. You know what I mean? Kicks. Like moms love it. Kids approve. Moms, you know what I mean? Because they were like, eat this cereal. It's healthy for your kids and shit. And so like there was like this sort of retraction of the junk food that was out, sugar, super sugar crisp. It became like Honey Crisp or something. They're like, it's not as much sugar in there anymore, And so there was like less of that, and parents were trying to be a little bit, they give kids like fruit roll-ups, you know what I mean? Like here's some fruit, and it's
rolled up. It's okay.
Yeah, it's here's some bites or whatever that are made out of fruit.
Yeah.
And, or some celery sticks and peanut butter cup or whatever, whatever, that kind of thing. And that went on for a while, right? But it seems like when the 90s hit, like everybody gave up. Parents just gave up at that point. People are like, here's Go-Gurt and fucking purple ketchup and,
juice boxes.
Just all kinds of fucking those Lunchables, that are just, there's no redeeming quality in a Lunchable. You know what I mean? It's just like meat and cheese and
like a hunk of processed cheese, 2 little pieces of like some kind of manufactured bologna, and 2 Ritz crackers with like a Hershey Kiss. And it's like, thank you. I will take one of those.
Right, yeah. And like, but they just like, and then the after school stuff and everything, it just got crazy. And I think like there was just this transition because, like I'm not knocking parents out. Don't get me wrong with this. I'm not comparing like parents today and yesterday. I'm just saying from like when I was young anyway, like, my mom was German too. So, when I was real young, so we had to eat what was on our plate. And if you didn't eat, like, I mean, I don't know, man. My mom probably would have just like grabbed me by the back of the head and forced the food down my throat or something, right? Like, I mean, it would have gotten a little bit violent if I were to be that way. Now, there were certain things where like I would not eat them because I felt that they were like, like a hot piece of fucking dog shit on my plate. You know what I mean? Like there were some things like there was no fucking way I was eating it because I'd get sick, mentally in my head. I'm like, this is disgusting. I'm not going to eat that.
Right.
Like I really didn't like rice pudding, which a lot of people do. Right. But because there was rice in there, it fucking grossed me out. Right. It's like you're used to eating this cold, smooth chocolate or vanilla pudding or whatever the fuck it is you eat. And then they're like, here's a warm pudding with chunks in it.
Yeah.
of like rice and shit. And it's just like, ugh. Like I just, you know what I mean? It just wasn't good for me. But, and if somebody tried to make me to eat it, I'd be like, now today I understand. I'm mature enough that I could try it. I'm still not sure I'd really be like, delicious rice pudding, but I could eat it.
Right.
But anyway. And so like, like I mentioned to you, Don, it's like, but now today it's like parents they just want their kids to fucking eat something. Like they want their kids to eat. Like, are you going to eat something? What do you want? What do you want me to give you in order for you to eat? And they'll eat like nuggets that are shaped like dinosaurs, and some noodles with butter on them or something. They don't want any sauce and stuff. And kids get these kind of weird sort of diets without any vegetables or anything in them. And I see this all the time with parents, and I understand. I get it. You don't want to be the parent on the block whose kid looks like they haven't had a meal, since the war or something. They're just all bones and say, I don't eat anything.
Haven't been my day.
My daddy doesn't feed me properly. But so like now there's all this crazy food and I just thought we'd talk a little bit about some of that stuff.
Yeah,
because it's and like fast food too. Like there was lots of fast food restaurants when we were in the 80s, right, in the 90s, but not like there is now. I mean, now there's a fuckload more of them, and they're all open at all hours and shit all the time. I mean, you remember, dude, when we used to drive around, like there was a point at night when you just couldn't go get like fast food unless you went on the turnpike, maybe, right?
And we used to have to do that. We used to do that.
You have to drive like 20 minutes down to the turnpike, another 10 up to like the overpriced restaurant.
Big Mac.
Yeah, to find a McDonald's or something, because it was none of them were open that late.
It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. You're like, I'm hungry. I want something to eat, and everybody's just like, what? Like the only place that's open is Taco Bell. I mean, they were literally like the only place.
Right.
And so I remember when we came up with that idea. I was like, you know what? Those places on the turnpike are open 24 hours a day. I was like, we could do. You're like, you got to go on one exit and then drive to the other exit, and then like get off and turn around, get on that exit, and come in. Yeah, I know. I'm like, I don't care. I'm hungry. And we live in like a major like area. It's outside of Cleveland. You know what I mean? Like it's like if you lived out in the middle of Timbuktu or something, there's nothing for you. Forget it. There's nothing. No way. But but now, like fuck, man, half the places seem like they're open 24 hours. The goddamn gas station. What is that? Sheets? Yeah.
You can go in there any old time. They got a kiosk thing. You can make up your own whatever. You know what I mean? Like just you can carve it all up the way you want it. Here's my bun. Here's the meat I want and how I want it cooked and I want these toppings and this side and they, just wait it out a little bit and bing, here you go. You want some motor oil with that? Like, no, it's fine.
They are busy all the time too.
Oh yeah, no, it's good. I've had sheets. It's good. I mean, some of it's not so good, but some of it's all right.
I ain't looking to eat there every day and be like, hey, 5 stars, or nothing like that. I'm just saying, like in the middle, like when it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, you're like, I'm starving. You can get cheese sticks and chicken strips and tater tots and a sandwich or whatever. It's like, all right, sweet.
You ever know people like that though, that like go to the same place like over and over and over again? Like they like I like Chipotle, and then they just go to Chipotle like every day and just get Chipotle every day, and you're just like, dude, seriously? Come on,
Yeah,
man. You just
yeah.
ate there. Like,
I DoorDash to a guy. the
oh
order
yeah.
comes the order comes up, and I'm always just like, oh, Devin, oh, you little. Like, it's Chipotle again, huh? Then I was like, wasn't I just at your house yesterday? Like, jeez.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm a variety person. Like the only thing I could maybe eat more than once in a row is like a breakfast cereal. Like the Monday the same cereals, Tuesday the same cereal. But when it
Right.
comes to lunch or dinner, man, I am not the guy that's going to eat like the leftovers that are like 5 days in a row or whatever. Like I made a lot of pasta this week, so I'm
Right.
just going to eat pasta every day
Yeah.
this
No.
this week. Fuck no, man.
There's
Day two, I'm going out to get a burger somewhere or something. Like, not gonna
I'm
happen.
I'm with you on the whole switching it up. You got to you can't go to the same place every day because you're gonna get sick of it.
Right, or at least get something different. Like, get a different
Yeah,
item.
switch it up. But I'll tell you what, that Raising Cane's,
Yeah, you're
I
into
can go
that,
there.
huh? Yeah.
I can go. I don't know why, but I can go there every day, almost every day. Let's not get crazy.
I
But
think their meat is processed, though. That's what kind of turns me off about them.
huh,
Yeah.
tastes
See,
good.
like what they do is they like. This is kind
Don't
of
ruin it for me.
I'm not going to ruin it for you because I don't know for sure with Raising Cane's. But what happens with the fast food industry in general, right, is that like, so if you go and buy like at a grocery store, you buy like a chicken breast, right? And you go home, you have your chicken breast, and because it's white meat and all this kind of thing, and it's a chicken, it's very lean, right? And it has a certain texture and it's got a certain structure about it. And it's all white meat, and it's whatever. Well, they can't give you that for a number of reasons. I mean, one reason is it's too expensive for a fast food place to give that to you just like that. And the other problem is it's quality control. Chicken breast is going to vary from chicken to chicken, from size to just how it developed, to the fact that like there might be some grizzle on it or something, and you'd be like, they're trying to poison me. Look at this, Facebook. You know what I mean? So
Right.
all of that meat gets processed, and they grind it all up, and then they use machines to form it into something. But it's mostly the same thing, other than some binding agents. But the thing I don't like about processed food like that is that the government allows a certain amount of fat to be included with what they sell, right? Well, I mean, they could just sell you, this is fat burger. They could sell you as much
Right.
fat as they want, actually. But you can still call it, all white meat chicken, breast meat, etc., as long as that percentage is lower than like 50%. So what's cheap? Fat is cheap. So they'll grind up like the white meat, and then they add fat to it. And then now to you, when you're eating it, it tastes good because you're getting like this, like fat is very flavorful, and you're getting all of this like juicy, it's good texture, it's white, they've breaded it and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, but your brain is thinking, it's a good white meat piece of chicken. And it's like, yeah, but it's not really. Like it's 40% fat is actually what you're eating. And that's the part that like kind of, and that gets me with burgers too. Like burgers are like, they do the exact same thing. There's a lot of fat that they're adding to the burger in order to get it. However, like with a burger, like there is a good balance of fat to beef that makes it have a good flavor. Like that 97% lean shit on beef is like, it's just like you're just eating dried, hockey puck or something. It doesn't have any,
I,
juice. But chicken, yeah.
I think you're. I know what you're saying about the chicken, and I know that places do that, the processed chicken, and all that
Right.
stuff. But I don't think Cane's does,
That's fine.
because
Yeah.
they're pretty much, because if they do, then they're using a mold, because the pieces are all cut from like the same. I've seen like a tendon or like a, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know how you
that's
get
good
those-
then.
So it's like, and it's always in the same spot. It's not like I'm just chewing into it and being like, oh, here's where the meat separates or whatever. Here's where there's actual like stuff. So I think so.
Yeah, and that's good. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I've had it. It's all right. I mean, I'm not knocking it. It's just there's just something about it that I'm just kind of
you are.
with processed chicken. I'm just kind of like,
No, I've had that where I've gone into places and I've been like, yeah, give me the chicken strip basket. And they're like, it's processed, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I didn't know. I was like, yeah, whatever. And then they brought it out, and I took a bite, and I was just like, oh, this is what processed chicken is. Well, now I know.
Like
you could tell the difference
in the beginning, like with Wendy's chicken sandwich. It seemed like that was like an actual breast of chicken, but now it's definitely processed. They make it so it's like you don't. It's hard to tell now because they get that texture. They do it right, But it's just like if you look at Is it ironic that all the chicken nuggets are shaped the same way? When you go to McDonald's or any other place, really. Well, okay, I'm not talking about
put a chicken breast out, use a cookie cutter.
Yeah, but it's like it's just molded into that. But don't get me wrong. I mean, all of this shit's bad. That's why you go to fast food. It's not health food. I mean, you're not going in there, thinking like, well, I just got done with the gym. Better get some.
I gotta get a Big Mac in me.
Yeah, better get my health on. Yeah. Get that going on. No, I understand. And if you enjoy it, that's the whole fucking point of going. So don't listen to me. Like, go eat your food, etc. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't go to Raising Cane's every day personally because I just get a thing about that. That's all.
Yeah, no, I mean, I could do it. I'm not saying I want to.
Right. And they have like one sauce, which bums me out. Like, I got to bring out my own sauce or something.
Yeah, right.
Can't just eat that Raising Cane sauce all the time.
And then you look at them, you'd be like, you got your ranch? They'd be like, excuse me? Like, they're like, we got cane sauce and we charge for it. And you're just like, yeah, but you got any barbecue or honey mustard? Yeah. You got. And they're just looking at you like, all right, they're like the soup Nazi. They're like, no chicken for you. Out. So
get the fuck out of here. Yeah. There's some place over here in by the mall in Strongsville called what is it called? Like Hot Chicken Takeover? Something like that? Yeah,
we got one at Crocker Park.
Have you ever had that? I haven't had it, so I was curious what that is like. But
I've DoorDashed from there.
Yeah.
And it's basically you have your choice of like a chicken breast, a chicken wing, a chicken thigh. You get like a boneless chicken tender or whatever. Like, and then it's different varying degrees of heat in their sauce, where they're like, you can get like mild, or you can get spicy, or you could get blow your brain out, or and then 3 sides. Then you get your choice of beans or mac and cheese, or I can't remember what the other one is, but it's still gross. All 3 of them are gross. I was just like, no. It's like no French fries or nothing like that. No potatoes. It's just I'm just like, well, or coleslaw or something like that. It's 3 things that are just like, ugh. like okay, I'm getting a piece of chicken, and I don't like any of the sides. They're like, we give you a free sweet tea or an unsweet tea if you want. They give you free drinks.
Oh, really?
Everything. Well, not free drinks. They give you free. They have a sweet tea or an unsweet tea. So it's like you can have the tea for free, or you can buy a pop.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it's strange. Look it up.
Yeah, I might try it one day just to try it, but I'd have to be like not that hungry, because if I'm hungry, I want to get something I know I'm going to like. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if I'm like with somebody else and they're like, "Hey, you want to eat?" and I'm thinking, "Not really,"
Yeah, right.
I'll be like, "Let's go to Hot Chicken Takeover and just try it."
Just try this out.
If I don't like it, I don't have to fucking be like, "I got to go somewhere else now."
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, hey, were you ever other than the meatball sub, were you ever like into that whole Subway craze that was going on? Were you like a big Subway guy?
No, because I don't like this is gonna sound crazy. I don't like ingredients. I'm not how does I just figured that sounded weird. I'm not a lettuce, tomato, onion.
Well, that's the thing.
Mayonnaise.
Like, yeah, I was just gonna say, like, Subway really is just like salad on bread. Right,
with some meat sprinkled in.
Yeah, well, it's like there's meat sometimes on salad. I mean, that meat is razor thin, right? I mean, they have it on that paper thing, and they put it on there, and they pull it off, and it looks like, ooh, you got a bunch of meat on there. But it's like it's fucking razor thin. And then they're like, but you can have as much salad shit.
Yeah, right. We'll throw as much vegetables on here as you want.
Yeah, it's a big salad on bread. I mean, in a lot of ways, that's what Chipotle is too. I mean, they give you more meat, I suppose, at Chipotle, but it's just it's all vegetables, right? It's
all
beans
rice.
and rice, and guac and things. And then people are like, "Can I get that in a bowl?" And it's like, "Yeah, you just made a salad. You made a salad, with some
Put
meat
chips
in
on
there,
it.
right?
Taco salad.
Taco
It's
salad.
like they go to make your burrito at Chipotle and they throw that big, huge spoonful of rice on there. You're like, oh, this is going to be great. And then they put some beans on there. You're like, yeah. And then they take like 2 pieces of meat and throw it on top of there. You're just like, hey, where's the big spoon? Like, what happened at the,
Which one of these salsas do you want?
Yeah, right. But I was a meatball guy because that was simple. It was like meatballs, cheese.
Yeah. Well, they were good. Yeah. No, not at Chipotle, but at Subway.
At Subway. But I never got into the eating different kind, because that's what always made it difficult for me when I go to places. People would be like, "Here's an Italian sub," and it's just like, it's got Italian dressing and onions and salami and capicola.
Yeah, see, I never got into the whole like cold sandwich thing. Like, I can make a fucking cold sandwich at home, man. Yeah, it's the shit that's in my fridge. Like, I can get salami and bread, you know what I mean, and throw some shit together. And I don't understand. Like, and plus you can get those cold sandwiches at any deli anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get that these people that go. I mean, listen, again, people out there listening, you like what you like. It's fine.
Eat what you want.
Yeah.
Get what you want.
But I'm just saying, from my perspective, I was never into it because I just can't, and it's cold. Like, I'm going to pay money for something cold. Like, better be fucking ice cream because I'd rather have a hot sandwich of some sort. Now they toast shit, which is okay. I mean, I'll go to Subway or something, but I don't know. I've never really just been like, man, I just need to go to Subway.
The guys at work, like when I worked in construction, they'd be like, "Oh, we're going to go to Subway or whatever," and I would be like, "Go ahead," and they'd be like, "What? You don't want anything?" And it's like, "No, I'm good." They're like, "You don't want a Subway sandwich?" And I'm like, "No." And literally, I would go to work. I had this big, huge lunchbox, and I would put a loaf of bread in there, half a pound of turkey, a bunch of slices of cheese, and a bunch of Cokes and waters and stuff, and it was all iced off. It'd stay cold all day long. And I would just sit there and make my own sandwiches. And they're just like looking at me like, "Look at you making your own sandwich." And I'm like, "Look at you spending $8."
Yeah, the same thing basically, right?
On pepper with, you're buying a salad on a bun.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
You had to wait 20 minutes because the dude had to go get it, and then he had to make it, and then he had to bring it back. I said, "I'm done. I'm sitting here relaxing, done eating my lunch."
Sprinkle some croutons on your sandwich
there.
Yeah. No, I'm 100% with you. I've never been that kind of way. I'm pretty open ended on any. I'll go and try any place, and I'll try just about anything to mix it up. And there's places I prefer and places I don't. And like, there's occasionally where like I'll get something at Burger King and I'll like it, but man, Burger King has like no quality control at all. Like, I will go to a Burger King and get a burger and it'll be good. And then the next time I go and it'll be like, just like a cold block of meat, circled disc with like a, cold cheese on it, with the bun. And you're just like, what the fuck's going on in that place? Like, every Burger King I go to, it's totally random. Like McDonald's, it's probably like the most generic of all the fast food places, but like, it's pretty fucking consistent. Like, you're going to pretty much get the same, like, how it's supposed to be. Like, they figured that out there. Wendy's does a good job too, most of the time. If you get those teenagers on, like, the weekend nights, it's a little random. But Burger King is consistently random. You could go when it's all adults during the day and stuff, and you feel like you're eating a burger from yesterday. Like, they just found it. Like, hey, what about this burger from yesterday? Give it to this guy? Yeah, give it to him. He'll eat it. Fuck him. I don't know. And they cannot seem to figure out how to do French fries properly. Like, I don't understand it, Like, do they just sit around in a room and they're like, these are pretty terrible. Let's go with these. Like,
right. Here's the thing. It's like when they do the test on the French fries, they're like, "Here, try this French fry." It comes right out of the fryer. They just cooked it. It's nice and hot, covered in salt. And the guy eats it. He goes, "That's great." But the thing is when people go there and order, they get their food, and then it's another 3-4 minutes maybe before they start eating. You know what I mean?
If you even got fries fresh from the fryer, they might be sitting under the lamp for the last 20 minutes.
Exactly. Remember, hey, I was watching. There's a show on one of these channels called "How Food Changed the World" or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've seen it or heard of it, but I was watching the one today. It was about the beginning of McDonald's and Burger King.
Oh, all right.
and they were talking about how like the guy was like sitting there. He's like got potatoes out in front of him and different French fries in front of him and stuff. And he's just like trying each different one. He picks one up. He goes, "This is it. That's the one. This is the McDonald's fry." And it was just like that. I don't know. I completely blanked on what I was going to say about that because you were saying.
Well, the McDonald's fries are good. Like they make good fries. Like
if you get them, that's what it was. If you get them fresh. Remember back in the day when you would go into McDonald's and you go up to the counter and you look behind the counter and it was just like a line of hamburgers in the window.
Oh yeah.
And you would be like, "I want a hamburger and a French fry," and they would just turn around and grab it.
Yep.
Grab it right from out of the thing.
I don't know if that was. I don't know if like. French fries you want fresh out of the oil, no question. Yeah. I don't know if burgers is that bad coming off the heat lamp because at least everything's melted nice inside. Like it depends on how long it's been sitting there, of course, right?
Yeah.
But like there's a trade-off here with that whole thing because like if you get one hot and the cheese is melted and it's done right and it's right off the grill, awesome. But like I was just saying about Burger King, if they're taking some cold fucking meat and throwing it on bread with a cold piece of cheese, you might as well put it under the heat lamp for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, right. Help me out.
Yeah, you're helping me in that case. I'll take the warm ketchup. I don't give a fuck. Just, I'm paying for a warm meal. But, yeah, remember when you used to get, like, French fries from McDonald's or any place, and there would be, like, those black marks on the French fry because it was, like, from a potato that was, like, not processed? And now you don't see that anymore? And that's another thing where they're just taking the potatoes and they're mashing them up and bleaching the shit. So that now when you get it, there's like no fucking black marks that you eat around anymore with your French fries and everything. Unless you go to like Five Guys or something.
Cane's does it.
Oh yeah, they use
they have
regular.
I'm really going with it.
No, it's fine. That's cool. I didn't get French fries at Cane's. I have no idea, but I know that there's some places that do. But I'm just saying, like I haven't seen one at McDonald's in fucking forever that's like that. But when we were young. All the time. Like, you would always have some that just had some of that shit on the fry. And it's like, whatever.
You always had the tip. You always ate to the tip and then threw the tip out. Like, I don't want this.
Wendy's fries were always okay. They changed them. But I mean, even before they changed them, they were all right. I mean, they're not McDonald's fries, but they were okay.
The Rally's fries are gross.
Yeah, I don't like those. The sea salt thing I wasn't so into.
No.
Some people really like Arby's fries. The curly fry, with the seasoning on them and stuff. I never really been into curly fries. I just feel like it's too.
I could eat them. I don't want them though.
Yeah, it's not the same experience. Basically, it's like you're eating this big chunk of potato. Like you're not nibbling on it. It's like here's a fucking curly chunk of potato. Put that in your mouth and fucking eat it.
You can't. It's like you pick, and the thing is, you pick one out. You're like, look at the size of this thing, and you look back in the container. And it's like, oh, it was the whole container. It was this one huge spiral of potato. Right. I got to separate this one spiral so I could get it for different bites.
Right. Do I eat it around? That's another thing. Like Arby's, right? Like their roast beef. Like their roast beef always kind of grosses me out. I'll eat it. I just want you to know, like. Don't get me wrong. I'll eat some Arby's roast beef. But it looks like no other roast beef you buy anywhere else.
No, sometimes you get it.
It's juiced up or something. It's got a lot of liquid in it.
The thing is, it's like you got to not look at it. You know what I mean? You got to like get it and like take the bun off and close your eyes and put the sauce on it. Hope you hit it and then put the bun back on top and just be like, I'm just going to eat it.
Just don't think about it. Yeah, you might. Your stomach too. When you get it in, your stomach's going to be like, what is this? Like you're not going to get sick, but it's going to be like, this is weird what I'm eating.
I've seen some roast beef sandwiches from Arby's that like had some like rainbow marbling on them where you're just like. That's not natural. That happens when stuff goes old.
Yeah, rainbow marbling. That's good. Well, a lot of stuff gets steamed, right? And I think that happens with them too. Like I don't know for sure, but I think like a lot of these guys like the steamer way is a way of cooking things without overcooking things, right? So it's like you see a lot of it. Like You have the meat, it's like sitting in a fridge or something. They throw it in a plastic bag. They throw it in the steamer, heats it up, keeps it moist, right? And it's hot, and you're not overcooking it. So, people get that. But it's like there's something about that, though. There's just like a lot of wet with that. Like you're just kind of like eating this sort of hot water food. Like your meal is cooked in hot water. Like Taco Bell will melt a lot of things with steam as well.
Yeah.
And
Chi-Chi's did it. They cooked everything. We had steamers.
Yeah, steamer. Like, and it's just, I don't know. It's fine. I guess it's fine. It's just, it's not the same as some other things,
Right.
It's just different.
It's like cooking. It's like the difference between cooking SpaghettiOs on the stove and cooking SpaghettiOs in the microwave.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like you're thinking to yourself, you're like, it's SpaghettiOs. What's the big difference? There's nothing. Not really. It's this sauce with this, the noodle thing. But the fact of the matter is, the microwave makes it taste or have a different consistency or different. You know what I mean? Right. It just throws it off.
Right.
So there's that kind of thing with food where it's like, oh, I don't like, just like eggs. I like them scrambled, but I don't like them poached, or I don't like them fried, or there's people who are always crazy about
microwaves are they're cool. They're cool in a way because they'll cook your food fast, but like there is like this point, like you're either it's not enough, right? And there's cold spots and shit where it's like still frozen or something, while another area is blazingly hot, even if you rotate it and do all that other bullshit. Mm-hmm. Or you overcook the shit out of it, right? You're like, just throw it in there for 10 minutes and, and then it's overcooked and it's like rubber and stuff. Like you have to know like the time that because the time on the box is never right. Put it in there for 3 minutes or something. It's like, it's not.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what microwave you guys have. It must be brand new or something, just shooting it with lasers or whatever to make it no, you gotta like my microwave, it takes like 5-6 minutes for a frozen meal, so I don't have to bite into an ice brick somewhere in the container, I
was gonna say, well, sometimes that's what I'll do is I'll pull something if I want to eat something, then I got to put it in the microwave. I'll pull it out of the freezer and I'll let it sit for half an hour.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like you said, you know what I mean? You throw a frozen brick in there and you put the timer on.
Right.
And it's like by the time the inside or whatever gets hot enough where you want it, the outside is like leather, or it's, you know what I mean? It just curls up and gets old and you're just like, oh, this is disgusting. So it's like, that's like the past 10 years or whatever. I've been like, I'll heat stuff up in the microwave. I am not cooking. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm not, you don't cook in a microwave.
Yeah. 100%,
you know what I mean? It's
right.
It's not, that's not cooking. You basically a microwave is, because think about it. Has anybody ever put a turkey in a microwave?
I mean, they used to show you those ads with a turkey.
They would show you could.
Yeah, nobody does that. Right.
That would be ridiculous. You know what I mean? Because the thing would just shrink and the outside would be all hard.
It'd probably explode in places.
Yeah. It just and I prescribed to that rule where I was like, I'm not going to cook food in the microwave because, and I'll, like I said, I'll pull stuff out of the fridge. Like if I'm reheating a burrito from Chipotle, I'll pull it out and let it kind of warm up so that it heats it evenly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, it doesn't have to heat up the center so much where the outside gets nasty.
But like, that's another thing too, though. Like if I have to like keep rotating the thing, like a frozen burrito, you know what I mean? Like I put it in there 30 seconds, flip it over, 30 seconds, flip it over, 30 seconds, flip it over. I might as well just made this shit in the oven, you know what I mean? Or on the stove. Like like if I got to fuck around too much with the microwave, I'll do it once. I'll flip it, turn it once. I mean, I got one of them, rotating plate deals. I think everybody has that shit now.
Yeah.
But I'll still flip it over or whatever one time. But if I got to do it like where it's like you'll read those instructions, they'll be like, put it at 50% power for 4 minutes, and then take it out, stir it up, and then put it back in for another, 6 minutes on high, and then, take it out and stir it again. Then if you want to put it back in fuck it. I'm just going to make this shit on the stove because this is way too complicated. It doesn't need to be because it's a microwave. It's not going to be good. Like I get to fuck with it all day. It's not going to be good.
No, they'll be like, put it in the microwave on half power for 2 minutes. It's like, I'll put it on full power for a minute. Like this,
yeah.
I'm not
going to end well. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't know and you never know if you're hitting the right buttons anyways. You never know if you're really making it half power or lighter. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't do this. This isn't,
And you got to be careful, like what you're putting in the microwave too, because of the metal thing and the aluminum and stuff. You'll get like a sandwich that you're reheating, and it might be in like a foam container, and you forget that the inside's still wrapped in foil, and you put it in there, and all you're hearing is like this fucking crazy shit coming out of your microwave. You're like, what the fuck?
When Sophie was a kid, I remember we went to Chipotle. We had leftovers or whatever, and we wrapped it back up in the foil. I threw it in the fridge the next day. I remember she goes, "We were here when I first came into my parents' house a couple years ago. and I remember her going like, "Hey, can I? I'm going to heat up this burrito." And I was like, "Yeah, go ahead." And I turned around and I walked away, like away from the kitchen.
Sure.
Not because
she's not that young at that point, right?
Well, she was like 11.
Okay.
You know,
yeah. Well,
so you think to yourself, she's borderline,
right?
You know. But I just turned around and walked away. I was like, "Yeah, okay, go ahead." Right. Thinking to myself, I didn't even think about it. And then I literally got like 4 steps away and stopped and turned around and went, "Wait a minute!" And I could see her putting the burrito wrapped in tinfoil into the microwave. And she shuts the door, and I'm like, "No, no, 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 no!" I was like, "No, wait, stop!" She's like, "Oh, I thought it was okay to put this foil in there." I was like, "No." I go, "No, you can't do that." So yeah, it's
right. And then sometimes you'll buy stuff, and you'll be like, it'll come in like a metal thing or something, and it'll be like, "This is microwave safe," and you're just looking at it skeptically. You're like,
"Yeah,
I don't think it is."
Yeah,
and you cook on it, but then you're just kind of like, "Yeah, this can't be healthy. Like I'm eating some radioactive fucking thing or something."
we were working out in the middle of nowhere, and we used to go to this corner store and get sandwiches, and they had them wrapped in saran wrap, and I would bring them back to the trailer and I'd stick them in the microwave, and this guy would be like, "You shouldn't be heating those sandwiches up wrapped in plastic." And I remember just looking at me like, "Shut up." He's like, "That's going to be dangerous for you." I go, "What's dangerous is you telling me what to do." I'm like, "Don't." I was like, it was just, I don't know why that, because I put them in the microwave, and then the saran wrap like expands like a big balloon in the microwave, and it's like, "Ooh, it's going to pop." It never did. I just remember the guy was just like, "That's dumb. You shouldn't. There's so many chemicals." I was just like, "Dude, it's a stupid turkey sandwich from the corner store. Like, this isn't Gordon Ramsay's, Fahrenheit or whatever restaurant."
Like you're doing it all the time too. It's not like you're just going to be like opening up a container of chemicals and drinking it or something.
Yeah,
it's like once in a while, like your body will handle it. Yeah, no,
yeah. I got all kinds of food stories, man. I've been in the food industry for over 30 years. So
well, yeah, no, I mean, and that's the thing is like, actually, I found a Scooter Crunch wannabe up at the Acme that the strawberry one's pretty good. I didn't try the chocolate. The strawberry one's pretty good, although they do call the chocolate one an eclair, which I hate because it reminds me of that Good Humor one, which is not good. No. But the strawberry one, they just called it like strawberry shortcake or something, and it's pretty good. Like the crunchies on it taste fresh. You know how you get some of those and you eat them and they taste like the freezer, like you're eating part of the freezer door or something. Like it's not like that. So it's like it tastes fresher and stuff. So I'm like, oh, that's pretty good.
Those friendly ones were good. The friendly versions.
Friendly always has good ice cream. It's just that it has friendly prices for them, basically.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Yeah, that's because I remember buying it. I was like, I want another one of these, but I'm not spending $5.50.
Get that ice cream that looks like a watermelon and shit. You're like, I want that friendly log, an ice cream log or whatever. Oh my God. Yeah.
Scooter.
Well, that's another thing like ice cream. Let's wrap up with ice cream.
All right.
The one thing I noticed, is that like when you get like good ice cream, right? Like a Haagen-Dazs or at like a ice cream stand, you go to like a Honey Hut or something, like a hard ice cream though, not like soft serve. Soft serve is great, but not talking about that. Talking about hard ice cream. It's dense. You know what I mean? Like it's like a dense ice cream. It's like what ice cream is, right? And then like you go and you buy like some grocery store ice cream that's kind of like, I'm not going to say like the discount brand are the only ones, because even some of the premium ones, like it's not the same texture. You know what I mean? Like it's like soft. Like when you were young, you'd have to get that spoon and put some fucking muscle into it to get that ice cream out of that carton. You know what I mean? Right. And now it comes out really easy a lot of times. Not for every ice cream. Like I said, there's some like, that are still dense, but there's some that are just like, it's not all ice cream. You know what I mean? Like there's like something else in there they're doing or something.
Those big giant pails, the buckets of ice cream, those are like solid. Those are like rock hard.
There's like some kind of that's funny. There's some kind of Yeah, like it's like whipped and like they're just trying so hard like to give you like the absolute minimum amount of ice cream to make it ice
Yeah.
cream kind of thing.
It's like they're taking soft serve, pouring it into a container and freezing it.
Yeah, right. It's like it's not. It's like more water or more like filler or something.
More
And
cream than ice.
yeah, I'll eat it, but I'm just like I'm not happy about it. I'm like I ain't buying this brand again because
Right.
when I was a kid I didn't give a fuck, but as an
No.
adult now it's just like if I'm gonna put the calories on,
I want it good.
yeah, I want it to be good, man. I don't want the and part of it too is like that's kind of why I'm more into the novelty ice cream, like the Scooter Crunch or bars or whatever, because it's a bit more uh, what's the word I'm looking for here? We're portion control. Portion control.
Yeah, I was gonna say enjoyable.
Yeah, well, I mean, for you, you eat the whole box anyway.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
But I'll just like have the one bar or whatever, and I'll be good. And because if I get like a whole carton of ice cream, it's hard to stop. Like you just keep eating the fucking thing, and then the next thing you know, it's half gone. And you're like, man, I better stop eating. This is dumb.
Then you get to that point where you're like, well, I might as well just eat them.
Yeah, I'm just gonna eat it tomorrow anyway. So why don't I just eat it all now?
I've done that where there's been 6 in a thing, and I'll eat 4 of them and be like, seriously, like 2 tomorrow is not going to be enough. I just might as well eat them right now. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah,
I got those Scooter Crunches. I told you this. I got those Scooter Crunches and got to my girlfriend's house, and she goes, "What is this?" And I was like, "They're Scooter Crunches, and I gotta try them. I gotta make sure they're right." And I pulled 2 out and I put them on the table, and I just sat back. And she's like, "What did you?" She's looking at me. She's like, "You gonna eat them?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna eat them." She's like, "Why not?" I go, "I gotta let them thaw out a little bit in case they're like too frozen." She's like, "What?" And I was like, "Listen, you can't get a good judgment on an ice cream when it's rock hard. You gotta let it like thaw out a little bit and melt and get some mushiness in there." She couldn't understand it. She's like, "You're a freak."
Well, it's just like, back in the day when like you sort of rediscovered ice cream sandwiches when we would go up to Walgreens and you would eat like a box of those like every other night, let's say.
Yeah.
That's
being nice.
And like they were like 6 in a box, people. It wasn't like that economy sized.
It was 6 in a box, but sometimes I bought 2 boxes.
Well, you did, but you would like leave one in the freezer
for the next night.
For the next night when you'd come back over and eat it. Yeah. And, but then you put the 2 together into one. You made one sandwich.
Oh, jeez!
And you ate that, and then you were just like, "I think I'm done."
Yeah. I'm like, that was not a good idea. Whenever we go in excess, whenever we like add extra to anything, it always ruins it. Like the meatball subs, we couldn't even walk. They're like double meat's $1. We're like, we want double meat. They're like, that's 16 meatballs. It's like, sweet, throw them on there.
Yeah.
And we ate every last bite of it. We couldn't even walk to the bus stop 50 feet away. We're just like, I can't.
So dumb. They didn't even know either. They're like looking. They're like, "Can they do that double meat with the meatball sub?"
Right? They were like, "I don't think you could do that." And it's like, listen, it says double meat $1. I want double meat. I want double meatballs. Do it now.
It couldn't even fit in the bread. I mean, it was like
ruined it. It was just you couldn't put your mouth around it. We were just like, we're sitting there staring at it like, how do we eat this thing?
So dumb. It's hilarious.
You eat too much ice cream, you get all belly, you get gut rot.
Right. It's like you had that jumbo frosty that one time, man. It was fucking ridiculous. Those jumbo Wendy's cups were like, what was that thing? Like 32 ounces.
32 ounces.
And
yeah.
You like ate like a 32-ounce frosty with cookie.
With a cookie in it.
Ugh, God.
I didn't care.
I mean, even a large one of those was rough. But yeah, you pound it. Yeah, but you didn't feel so good after that.
one time, a long time ago, me and Jason and Keith, we all came over to your place.
Right.
To do something or see something, or we were playing a game or something like that. And we left there and I was like, "You guys want to go to Dairy Queen?" And they're like, "Yeah, let's go to Dairy Queen." And we went to Dairy Queen and we each got a Blizzard. It was like, "Okay, I want a medium." There was like a cookie thing, Blizzard or whatever. So those two, Keith and Jason, they got the cookie one and I got my Butterfinger one. I was like, "Give me the Butterfinger one."
That's a good one.
Yeah. So we go through and something happened with Jason. He was just like, "No, this one's not mine. This one's yours, and this one's mine." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I just grabbed it and I just started pounding this thing while I'm driving. I'm driving, just pounding this Blizzard. And I literally got halfway through it. He goes, "Oh no, wait a minute. This is the Butterfinger one right here." was just like, I go, do you want this one back? And he's like, dude, it's gone. He's like, I just took a bite out of this one. That one's already gone. I was like, yeah. I go, I kind of got a thing about ice cream. I don't understand it. I just eat that stuff up, man.
It's that training for when it's like when we began this conversation.
Frosties.
It's that training in elementary school. They get you that ice cream cup.
Yeah.
All downhill from there, man.
But yeah, Frosties. Woo, I used to eat a lot of those too.
Holy shit. All right, folks, thanks for listening. Don't forget our Patreon, patreon.com/VGN, like video game news. And we'll be back next week. You can get all the shows if you're a Patreon subscriber. It's $2 a month. Thanks to all our patrons for helping us out and keeping the proverbial lights on with this podcast. It really does help. And we'll be back next week with more. Thanks for listening. Talk to you then.
Sweet. Peace.
You've been listening to Oblast with Don and Kevin. If you'd like to write into the show, send an email to oblast@vgn.us. That is VGN as in video game news. And be sure to check out our Patreon page, which is at patreon.com/VGN, where you can get all of our shows, our videos, and some musings. Be sure to tune in each week for new episodes on our Patreon page or every other week on the public RSS feed that you're subscribed to now. Thanks for listening, and good night.
Peace.